Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The Yankees win another series. They go to San Diego and win 2 of 3. They win the first 2. They don't get the sweep, and we've seen it a little bit this season. Obviously, they do have their fair share amount of sweeps, but there has been some instances where they win the first 2, lose the third, but it's acceptable. Look, this is at least roster-wise, a pretty talented San Diego Padre team. You go to San Diego, I said before the series, and be happy with 2 of 3, and that still remains the case. Probably doesn't hurt that the Rangers had a big overtime playoff win, but still, the Yankees are playing pretty good baseball, and you're not going to win them all, but the starting rotation continues to just dominate. Carlos Rodon, a really good game 1, Marcus Stroman game 2, and with Schmidt, look, obviously, he's not the most pitch efficient, but he, again, gave the Yankees a chance to win. Yankees off, the bats weren't really alive, and plus the bullpen wasn't great. And it's kind of amazing that the bullpen has been as effective as it's been. When you look at some of the names and just some of the injuries that are going on, the fact that pen has gotten it done, I think it is something that they are going to want to address. Like, when I look at this team, the rotation, obviously you have Garrett Cole coming back at some point, and even without him, it's been really good. The lineup, while it's had some cold streaks at times, has been, definitely one of the best in baseball. So I think if there is one weakness right now, and it's one that Matt Blake and company, I'm confident can make it work, it would be that bullpen. But yeah, more home runs in this series by the top players. It was the return of Juan Soto to San Diego, his first games back there since the trade in the offseason, and he would actually homer in that first game in his second at bat. But Aaron Judge, 2 more homers for him. He homered in game 1 and 2. Giancarlo Stanton, who, besides the home run he hit in game 1, really didn't do a whole lot else. Kind of struggled actually a bit, but Stanton, his home run binge continues. Anthony Volpe, the hit streak lives on. 19-game hitting streak for Anthony Volpe. So really impressive with that. Especially you don't see really hitting streaks the way baseball is played these days. You just don't see it as much. It's not like it used to be. So for him to be on the verge of, reaching a 20-game hitting streak, and I hope he's able to do it, very impressive. As far as transactions / injuries, DJ LeMahieu is set to return in the Angels series, and he'll actually be taking the place of the roster spot of Kevin Smith, because Kevin Smith took the roster spot of John Birdie. So John Birdie got hurt at the end of the first game. It was labeled a calf injury. It did not look good. I think he's going to be out a while. I feel bad for him because he had an injury, about a month ago or so, and he's a good, solid player. Now, his role would have taken a bit of a hit with LeMahieu coming back, but he's a useful player, and one, that the Yankees will be excited to have back, but I think he's going to be out for a while. He went down after, what was it? What was the play? Was it a ground out for Birdie? Let's see. I think it was the ninth inning. It was a ground out, yeah, and he just went down in a heap of pain. And yeah, I think I'd expect it to be out at least a month, maybe more. So yeah, tough news with Birdie, but LeMahieu will be back in the next series. Pitching wise, Yoendris Gomez was on the roster for this series. And actually looked really good. Pitched a 1-2-3 inning in the 9th and struck out the side, actually. But he was sent down after the series because Ian Hamilton, he'll be returning. And also what I left out. So similar. So both Birdies got hurt. And that had already happened. So John Birdie, his second stint in the IL, and then Nick Birdie, his second stint in the IL as well. I think it's that same hip that bothered him previously. And as I'd been saying, he had kind of been struggling as it was. So it kind of makes sense. So Hamilton will take the Birdie spot, and then Gomez was kind of the in-between, just as Kevin Smith was on the offensive side. But yeah, game 1 was just Yankee pure domination. They win game 1 8-0. And Carlos Rodon, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. The ERAs are awfully impressive for this rotation. The only one that has an ERA above 3 is Nestor Cortez. Everyone else, Luis Gil's in the low 2s. Rodon high 2s, and Schmidt, I think, in the mid 2s. And then that leaves Marcus Stroman, who, after his outing, is probably somewhere in the highest 2s But it's just incredible. So Rodon, his record 6-2. And so even though sometimes the strikeouts aren't there, I'll take it. For him to go 6 scoreless innings, like he is just in a groove right now, and it's nice to see that he's finding ways to pitch well, even when his stuff isn't always there. It's refreshing, and it's necessary. Obviously, Rodon was signed to a really big contract, so he has to deliver. And then for San Diego, the Yankees really touched up Yu Darvish, who allowed 4 homers on the night, 5 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So he was able to give them length. But yeah, Darvish was definitely crushed in this one, allowing homers to Soto, Judge, Stanton, and Torres. So let's run through this. And the Yankees score in the first inning. And it was an Anthony Volpe triple, so he extends his hitting streak at that point. And then with 1 out, Aaron Judge gets a sac fly to give the Yankees 1-0 lead. Then it's the third inning where the Yankees really explode. And it would be a 2-out, 2-run homer for Juan Soto, his 14th homer of the year. Then back-to-back homers. Aaron Judge, his 16th homer of the year, gives the Yankees a 4-0 lead. And then a 2-run shot for Giancarlo Stanton, his 13th homer. So the three of them have just been on a home run barrage. And 6-0 Yanks at that point. Then in the fourth inning, they would add another, thanks to Gleyber Torres, his 4th homer of the year. Gives the Yankees a 7-0 lead. Like I said, Rodon goes 6 strong. Then Dennis Santana would pitch the 7th and the 8th. 2 scoreless innings for him. And in the 9th, the Yankees would score 1 more run, and it was against Johnny Brito, actually. So the former Yankee Johnny Brito would come in for the Padres. He pitched the 8th and 9th, and he did allow a run. And it was and again, this is after Birdie got hurt, actually, on that ground out. It's a 2-out rally. Volpe walk, Soto double, and then a wild pitch where Volpe scores. In the bottom of the 9th, Yoendris Gomez comes on and pitches a 1-2-3 inning, and he strikes out the side as well. So we go to game 2, and another excellent pitching performance by Marcus Stroman. So Stroman, he improves now to 4-2, and his ERA sits at 2.76. So he started out well, then he wasn't, and now he's back to really doing the job. He goes 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So it's really good. Not in the case of Schmidt the last couple times, but he still keeps you in the game. They're getting like 6-inning performances, and that really helps. So, a very sort of similar formula to game 1. The only difference here was the Yankees had to use more high leverage relievers because the offense, wasn't as much as it had been in game 1. But right away, Aaron Judge starts him off. So Volpe gets the single to extend the hitting streak, and then Judge hits his 17th homer of the season. It's a 2-run shot to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead. And then the fourth inning, a couple more runs to the Yanks. Leadoff double Judge, and then Verdugo singles, and then with 1 out, first and third, an RBI single for Anthony Rizzo, and then a sac fly by Gleyber Torres. So nice situational hitting for the Yankees, gives them a 4-0 lead. That would be all that they'd score, but it was all that they needed. So Stroman goes 6. Then Luke Weaver, he pitches a scoreless 7th. Then in the 8th, with 1 out, Veneno Tatis hits his 9th homer of the year. Aaron Judge leaped and just missed it. I think it might have went off the tip of his glove. Maybe not. But that ended what was a long scoreless streak, innings-wise, for the Yankees. In fact, I think the last run they allowed might have been Luke Weaver, allowing that homer to Cal Raleigh in Game 3 of the Mariners series. So pretty impressive stuff, but Weaver does go 2 innings, threw a lot of pitches, but keeps it at 4-1, and then a very easy 1-2-3 inning for Clay Holmes in the 9th, picking up his 15th save of the season. So the Yankees win the series at that point, and they go for the sweep, which they would not get. And let's talk about Game 3 in San Diego. And, for Clark Schmidt, it's just too many pitches. And it was a really big error. Like, it was sloppy defense that hurt the Yankees as well as the bullpen. But, the defense was not up to snuff in the 6th inning. That was the inning where that was the big Padre inning of the series. And it wasn't as if they hit the ball overly hard, just perfectly placed and took advantage of some opportunities. But Clark Schmidt goes 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of those earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. So look, the numbers are good, 2.52 ERA, but for him to throw 101 pitches in 5 innings, it's something again that he was getting better with, but needs to continue to work on. So his record drops to 5-3 on the season. And then for the Padres, and I didn't give Dylan Cease's line last game, but he he pitched, I mean, he gives up those 4 runs, but I think he had like maybe 9 strikeouts, so not all bad for him. Joe Musgrove, though, who had not been pitching well, pitches really well for the Padres in this one. He goes 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Wandy Peralta would actually come on and get a couple of outs, couple outs for the Pods in this one. We also saw Kyle Higashioka. Weird seeing him not in a Yankee uniform. He's had a really tough season for the Padres, batting 133. And struck out in both of his plate appearances today. But yeah, this was a scoreless game for a long time. And the Yankees actually took the lead in the 6th. It was a 1-out single for Volpe. And so at that point, he has a 19-game hitting streak. He steals second, his 11th steal of the season. Then Juan Soto with an RBI double. Kind of misplayed by Fernando Tatis in right field, but hit hard by Soto to give the Yankees a 1-0 lead. That would be all for Musgrove. Jeremiah Estrada comes on and strikes out Judge and Verdugo. And then the 6th inning starts out with a Gleyber Torres error. Just frustrating. Because again, Schmidt, you want to try to somehow get him through 6 innings if you can. It would have been tough, but that error really kind of fucked it up. And then Schmidt walks Machado, and that would be all for him. So Victor Gonzalez comes on. And look, Victor Gonzalez has done a nice job for the Yankees this year, but you look at his numbers, he has 9 walks and 6 strikeouts. I don't think it's sustainable that he's going to be able to keep up the numbers he's had. That all said, look, he's done the job, and his opposing batting average is really impressive. So I guess he's probably, there's probably been soft contact. He kind of is somewhat reminiscent, although I think Wandy's better than him. I guess he's kind of reminiscent to Wandy Peralta a little bit, but that might be being too nice. So anyway, Donovan Solano pinch hits for David Peralta, and Gonzalez walks Solano. So bases loaded, no out. Jackson Merrill hits a ground ball to Anthony Rizzo. They get the out at second, and I guess to be fair to Gonzalez, him being a lefty, he comes off the mat, no one covered first base. And kind of unfortunate because it kind of the way it was hit hard enough to be a double play, but it's not. So it's 1-1, first and third, 1 out. And Kim is able to get a bunt single. Now, this was a safety squeeze play where it goes to Rizzo, charges in, and he's unable to kind of field it cleanly. If he fields it cleanly, they might be able to get Machado out of home, but it doesn't happen. So no error on the play, but again, you got the Gleyber error early in the inning. You get the play before that where they're unable to get the double play, so the fielding was not quite great. And then with 2 out, first and third, 2-1 game, a big hit by Luis Arraez, lefty versus lefty. RBI single to give the Padres a 3-1 lead. Then Dennis Santana comes on to replace Gonzalez, and kind of a lucky swinging bunt RBI single for Fernando Tatis, where Santana, if I were him, I would have tried to see if maybe it would go foul. It probably wouldn't have, but he had no play. Padres take a 4-1 lead at that point. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Caleb Ferguson comes on, and he allows he didn't have a great outing. He allows a couple of doubles. Cronenworth and an RBI double by Manny Machado to give the Padres a 5-1 lead. Michael Tonkin would come on to replace him and did a pretty nice job. He ends up going 1 2/3 innings, no runs allowed. 8th inning, Wandy Peralta gets a couple of outs, but then he walks Volpe and Soto, so they bring on the closer, Robert Suarez. And surprising, Judge just strikes out looking. A fastball right down the middle. I'm not sure what he was looking for, but strikes out. And then we go to the top of the 9th. Suarez still on. It's an opposite field home run for Alex Verdugo, his 7th home run of the season. Cuts it to 5-2. You would get a 1-out single for Anthony Rizzo, but ultimately Gleyber flies out and Trevino grounds out, and the Padres are able to salvage the series. They win the final game by a score of 5-2. So the Yankees' record overall improves to 37-18. They are now 2 games ahead of the Orioles, tied on the loss side. So 4 more wins for the Yanks, tied on the loss side of Baltimore. So that is the team to continue to focus on. And ultimately, look, the Yankees, I have no problems with that. They lost 3-4 to Baltimore, and that hurts in Baltimore, but hopefully head-to-head they'll be able to, figure out ways to win series versus Baltimore when that time comes. So now the Yankees will continue their West Coast trip. They will have a day off tomorrow on Memorial Day, but they will head to Anaheim to take on the Angels for a 3-game set. Now, this Angel team really, really struggling. I mean, obviously, no more Ohtani. Mike Trout's out due to injury. So no excuse not to win the series. Sometimes going to the Angels has been a bit of a house of horrors for the Yanks over the years, but we'll see what happens. The Angels are 20-33. It'll be Nestor Cortez versus Griffin Canning, and this is where Nestor needs to get better on the road. He's been great at home, not good on the road. So Cortez versus Canning in Game 1. Game 2 will be Luis Hill looking to continue his magic, and he'll be going up against the lefty Tyler Anderson, who's actually put up a pretty nice season for the Angels, so that could be a decent pitcher's duel. And then game 3 will be Carlos Rodon against another lefty in Patrick Sandoval, who's really struggled this season. So, look, it's tough to get sweeps. It's tough on the West Coast. So, look, win 2 out of 3. Anything less than that will be disappointing, but win 2 out of 3. And we will see the season debut of DJ LeMahieu, and I'm very curious to see what the lineup looks like. Like, off the top of my head, I think you're going to be seeing DJ LeMahieu batting 7th and Gleyber Torres batting 8th. So, certainly a deep lineup if nothing else, but definitely will be weird to see 2 of those guys so low in the lineup. But I don't see any other, I think, as long as it's the regular crew in the lineup where Stanton's playing, and you have your A lineup, I think that's probably what it's going to start, because you're certainly not moving Volpe out of the leadoff spot with how well he's been playing. So it'll be interesting to see. And then after that Angels series, they will go to San Francisco to take on the Giants. So this West Coast trip continues, but off to a pretty good start. They are able to win 2 of 3 against the Padres, and they are undefeated in their last 7 series.